Once again, I'm with Dorking Wanderers Director of Football and Head of Academy, Jordan Clark, for our monthly update. Afternoon, Jordan. How have you been?
Afternoon, Gary. How are you, mate? All good?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to find out what's been going on for the month. It's gone really quick at the old time.
Yeah, I know.
when we
Yeah,
have
I
a
feel
chat.
like people are going to be like, what they got to talk about in that space of time. But no, it's it's been an eventful month. It's been an eventful month of returning.
Be interesting to find out what's been going on. But how have you been anyway in the last month since we've spoken?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, we've been very busy, to say the least. You know, we returned in that first stage of the roadmap. So we fell in line with all education. So the 8th of March we returned.
Okay.
And since then it's been a little bit of a sort of a snowball effect. It's sort of built up and built up and built up, and it's been a really good time, but obviously really sort of challenging as well with all the protocols and everything. But you know, looking forward to. You know, I've got my shorts on now, so hopefully the summer months are ahead. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, have we get warmer? Yeah. Before we get into the questions, any news on football games, when they be played, when they're going to happen?
Yeah, so the academy will be returning to games this Wednesday. So we're
playing games Wednesday.
Playing games this Wednesday.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So that we have been doing an in-house cup for the last 3-4 weeks. So we put on a little cup competition between our 4 internal teams.
Right.
So we've been playing on a Wednesday afternoon. Obviously with COVID we weren't allowed to play with FA guidance, we weren't allowed to play against other academies. So we put on a little in-house cup and it went really well. You know, it was competitive, you know, they were against their peers, so you know, it was enjoyable. But we're looking forward to next week to having our first set of competitive fixtures. They're not in any sort of league or cup competition.
No.
The National Under-19 Youth Alliance, the Bostik Youth League.
That's all finished.
That's all finished. Yeah,
right,
that's all been curtailed, null and void.
Yes.
So what we've sort of set up is we're just with our contacts and stuff like that, just setting up friendly fixtures to try and see out the season, really, to see out what we've got and give the players the development that they need and what they deserve when they signed up to the programme.
Will that be against other academies or professional teams, or what? How is that going to work?
So it will vary. So next week we're playing Nigel James's academy. So Rhys James is dad. So we're playing his side.
Yeah.
They're elite side. So we're playing them here on a Wednesday.
Good boys, are you?
So yeah, it'll be a good fixture. Good,
Yeah,
welcome
good
back.
test.
Yeah, welcome back. It'll be good, and it'll be our under-19 squad that will play against them. So
that in the evening or midweek?
That's midweek. So that's 2 o'clock on Wednesday the 31st. Yeah. So we're playing at Meadowbank. So that's down here. So yeah, we will. That'll be our first fixture, and then we're playing Eastleigh not long after that. And then we've got a couple of evening fixtures as well lined up. So during this period, I've been putting together with the secretary and stuff like that a load of really good fixtures that whet the appetite, and also, when allowed to, parents and hopefully some sort of spectators can come down and watch.
Any idea when spectators could come down, is it?
I believe it's the 12th of April in the
that's what I've
roadmap.
heard.
I believe it's 12th
that.
of April. So I looked at what the FA put out, and I believe that they're at certain levels, so classed as non-elite grassroots, they're allowing spectators socially distanced. So what that looks like in terms of numbers, I don't know, but obviously once we know more, we will publish that.
I was talking to a committee member yesterday, and how he read it. People can come back and watch football on the 12th of April because you can have food outside and all that. But he sent an email to the FA and waiting to hear back. So it'd be really interesting to find out if that happens.
Yeah, I'll be interested to know as well, because obviously it'd be great to.
If I find out, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it'd be great to get some fans in Meadowbank, and and hopefully, even though it's midweek and sometimes during the day, there might be some people who come down and get their football fix. Because there's not a lot of it going on at that sort of elite level for the first team.
It'd be lovely, especially summer evenings as well. Is that at night time as well?
Yeah, it'd be good.
Brilliant.
It'd be good.
Okay, well, super nice. It was good to catch up like that. So, the first question: how has the COVID-19 testing been going on with the lads? How has it been going? Has it been going well?
Yeah, so we've gone through the first stage of testing, which was they had to have 3 in-house tests, so with us on site. So they had to have 1 a week, and we were scheduling ours on a Wednesday. So they had to have 1 before they returned on the 8th. So we did that on the Wednesday before, and then we had 2 following weeks where they came on site and were tested and then logged their results on the government website. And now we've gone to the home test kits. So the learners are taking the test kits home, and they're having to log their results on a Sunday or Monday morning before they return for education after the weekend, and then log it again on a Wednesday. And then that way, and staff are doing the same. And at the moment, we've obviously conducted probably probably around about 200 tests, and we've had no positive cases. So we're obviously following,
very positive.
What the trend is at the moment, cases coming down and stuff like that. So we hope it stays like that, and keeping everyone safe is the priority. So we just want to make sure that we contact trace as quick as we can, and if there was anything, we would obviously isolate whoever needed to be isolated and try and keep education going for those that could. So it was a little bit of a strange process, asking the learners at 16, 17, 18 to swab themselves and stuff like that, but they've got used to it, and we've not had anyone not do it, so it's all good.
It's good that you're right on top of it, and the other thing that's good as well, that people, the young lads, are negative, and it must be a weight off the parents' shoulders as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. So they come. It's not just simply they're at home and here. A lot of them get the train.
Of course.
A lot of them come into contact on buses, etc. They have to use public transport. So it just shows you that hopefully the world is getting back to a little bit normal. The vaccine rollout and everything. So hopefully it stays like that. Hopefully we have no spike or anything like that. I know there's nothing for definite, but I think with everything that's been put in place,
you can't do no more, can you, mate?
I'd be positive to say that education won't be impacted again. I'd like to think so.
100%.
It's good.
You've done a great job. Yeah, superb. Right, I see you're having a Talent ID days coming up. So can you explain a little bit about what this is all about?
So our Talent ID days normally on our sort of recruitment drive and our open events that we have. We have loads of scheduled events throughout the year, but obviously with COVID, mass gatherings and things like that have not been allowed. So what we're putting on now that the roadmap's been outlined, where football's allowed to return from the 29th of March, so Monday. So grassroots football's allowed to return. Right. So us holding an open training session, Talent ID Day, is what we're doing. So anyone who's interested, male, female, 16 to 24 years of age, anyone who's interested who would like to come down and learn more about what we offer here, they're more than welcome to attend. So the dates are the 2 Sundays of the 11th of April and the 25th. It's 5:15 registration, 5:30 start, and they'll be done by about 8 o'clock. That'll be here at Meadowbank on those 2 dates. So anyone interested, get in contact with myself, visit the academy or the main club website, and then they can come down. So the idea will be that all the learners will have a chance to show what they can do on the pitch. They'll get a taster of what would be academy life. They'd get to work with myself and the other coaches, and I know I'm speaking to Barry and people within the first team to come down and do a talk. Okay. Even though it'd have to be outside, but it will just give a little insight into the club and what we offer. So anyone interested, get in contact.
But don't just turn up.
No, must get in contact.
Get in contact with the club through the website. Through
the website or through the social media channels, get in touch with myself or anyone at the club, and they'll direct you to me, and then that way we can obviously make sure it's safe as well, because we don't want to have too many numbers. It is restricted, but we do want to obviously open it up and make sure that we can cater for everyone. So it might not be that you can attend on the 11th, but you might be able to attend on the 25th. So, and there will be more coming out in the coming months. But what we didn't want to do is get ahead of ourselves, because things have been taken away very quickly before. So we just thought we'll see how April goes, and then we'll look forward to May with more positivity.
Do you know what the numbers are yet at the moment?
So we've had around about 36 applicants for across both days. Some to attend both. And information to those that have applied, if anyone's listening, they'll be going out next week before Easter. We're just finalising, obviously, now that the government guidance on the return to football has come out yesterday. We can now safely put our risk assessment protocols together to ensure that the events run safely, and the idea will be to then let them know, and then get them in and have a sort of festival evening of football and see what everyone's got to offer.
And it's free?
Yeah, totally free.
Free as well, so that can't be bad. Get down there.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be people itching to get out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get in touch, come down and enjoy the evening.
Exactly, that'll be the plan.
Brilliant, that sounds great as well. So, is there any, we know there have been opportunity for the academy players to progress to the first team, because we've seen it, obviously not competitive football, but in the friendlies, there's a lot of 2, 3, maybe 4 lads have come through for the first team. So obviously there is progression. Yeah,
so this year we've really, I know it probably sounds strange to a lot of people, but we've really taken off on the sort of recognition front in terms of what we've done as an academy. So we've the club has always been in the forefront of a lot of football people's minds because of the progression that it's had. But in terms of the academy, we've had 2 back-to-back unbelievable runs in the FA Youth Cup, which from that and our status growing, we've had players going at professional clubs. So last year, sort of going in the timeline, we had George Membolera, who is now part of the first team, who went out, who went to Chelsea on trial last year, and then this year he's been able to go out alone and get that senior football, as well as James Dixon. And then this year, in the more recent time, on the back of our FA Youth Cup run, we've had Cameron Black, who's went into Brighton for 6 weeks. Ollie Allen, who has been getting a lot of press, and rightfully so. Very special young man, not only in his talent, but in terms of how he is as an individual. He's not only got great temperament, he's coachable, which I think is one of the big things now, that you can have all the talent in the world, but he's got that sort of temperament and manner about him that allows him to be coachable.
Attitude.
And he went into Brighton and was very close. He was very, very close to getting something there, and then on the back of that, he's then continued to play for the first team in the friendlies that you spoke about before the season was in null and void, and on the back of all that, he's now going into Wolves, and I've had many a conversation with the people at Wolves, and they're very excited about the prospect of having him, and there's to say there's 2 clubs, there's a host of clubs interested in the young man, which is testimony to not only the individual, which is obviously down to him working hard, but obviously what we're creating here is an environment. Ollie came to us as someone who was released, and now he's built a pedigree and a platform here at Dorking Wanderers for our own pathway and our own environment. So we've there's definitely going to be more opportunities, and I think now we're starting to see the fruits of the labour as such. There's going to be an exciting future ahead for these young players I've just spoken about, and it won't be in the not too distant future. The fans and people will hear about 5 or 6 that will be part of the first team squad next year and be fully fledged first team players. So
sure, obviously people are listening, hopefully, that have been released, come down, because you can start again, you can kick on your career again. Doesn't mean just you've been released once, that's the end of your life, is it?
Yeah, exactly, and there's a number of clubs now at this level, that's slightly above and even slightly below, that really are priding themselves on their development structure and their pathway, and the ability that the FA have put in terms of the coaching courses and the way football's gone. There's a lot more of a developmental approach and a holistic approach to the way that people are educated in the game, let alone just turning up and that jump from 16 to then being able to play men's football at a really high level is sometimes unrealistic. And what we've done really well here is built a pathway with our 18s, 19s, our 23s reserve side. We've given all of the players the development they need, and whether that's to continue playing low-level Saturday football or to go and play for our first team. There's opportunities for everyone.
There's more opportunities nowadays than there were back in the day, weren't there?
Yeah, exactly, and that's testimony to a lot of clubs' hard work, and no different to our own club. We've worked really hard off the field, and we're hoping that in a couple of years' time, one of these will sneak through, and they'll be a regular in the first team, which is, I know myself and Mark, we speak about the first Dorking Wanderers £1 million player. And that doesn't mean that we're expecting someone to go from Dorking for £1 million. That's not what we're looking for. But we want to have had a piece of their development with us and see their progression and grow.
Part of their progression.
Yeah, that's something that Dorking Wanderers haven't had because they're so young. To think that when I was born, Dorking Wanderers didn't even exist. So to have 21 years behind us, going into our 22nd year. And to be thinking about having 4 or 5 years down the line, potentially having players going into the professional game, there's clubs that have been around 150 years that haven't had that. So it's just about not getting ahead of ourselves and developing everything in the right way at the right pace.
Sure, definitely. So about loans, do you think like the likes of Membrella and Dixon, will they be going out on loan next season to Chipstead or other clubs, or and any other players going to be going out on loan, you feel?
Yeah, so from our development side, we've highlighted a select group, myself, Mark, and other members of the management team and the committee have identified a select group that will be targeted for loan deals, that will be targeted for sort of going to get their next stage in their development. And that worked really well for us this year, even though it was George and Dixie went for 7 weeks, I believe it was, along with Andrew, who went about 4 weeks to South Park.
That's right.
So they went to their respective clubs and done really well in that short period of time. George played 8 games, 5 starts, 3 from the bench, and ended up scoring around 3-4 goals. James Dixon had a similar impact and was starting to really kick on before it stopped.
I know it's
Step 4, yeah. So he's really started to kick on. So I'm hoping that with a full season, looking ahead to a full season with no interruption, those two and a couple of others that we've highlighted will really benefit from getting that first team experience. So I'm speaking to a number of clubs, and it's got to be the right fit for everyone. You know, the club as well as the player, as well as us, in terms of what we want from them, because we play a particular style. As much as that's obviously, there's got to be a sort of it lends itself to that, but more importantly, it's got to be that they're getting the development that they need at the right time. So we'll be working really hard over this sort of off period, and I will be really busy on the phone trying to work out where's the best fit.
Sure. What's happening with the Combined Counties Div 1 team, because they're trying to restructure that, aren't they?
Yeah, so the plan was last year, so COVID has killed everything.
Yeah.
It was plan last year was a full restructure of Step 6, so there was going to be a new Step 5 division, I believe, which was then obviously going to change the mapping out of the leagues, and from what was sort of proposed, from what the restructure would look like, it did change a lot. Like I think we ended up being in with a lot of Sussex-based clubs, so Billingshurst, the Rothies of this world. So that was what it was going to look like. So whether that happens now, I don't know. They might leave it again another year. I don't know if the FA would be willing to do that, because I know they're really keen to. But equally, how do you promote teams that some, for example, Jersey Bulls last season rightfully were like 25 games in, unbeaten, won every game. Best side by a long way, but then didn't get anything for that, and then this year only played 4 games. So what are they going to base it on if they are going to promote? So I don't know what they're going to do.
Haven't heard anything from the FA
Don't know
yet.
what they're going to do. Whether, it'll probably come out in the not too distant future, but yeah, I wouldn't like to bet either way, if I'm honest.
Sure, fair enough. Looking for sponsorship for the students, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's a new initiative that we're looking at for our learners. So it's been a tough time for everyone. But we're also looking at how we can support our learners again in a new phase in our own development, and we're looking for anyone, whether it's their parents, whether it's a local business, whether it's a friend, whether it's they want to do a run to get the sponsorship and raise it from a group of individuals. What we're looking to do is that they get some sponsorship to support their development. So if one of them need a new pair of boots, because if one of them need a laptop, or if one of them needs support, then there's a sort of a Dorking Wanderers Academy fund that is put together for them, and we're not talking thousands of pounds, we're talking 50, a nominal fee that would just allow them to get some little extras that will make a world of difference to these learners. We've got learners from backgrounds of great privilege, backgrounds of, for want of a better phrase, probably great hardship in their own right, and it's about making sure that everyone gets a fair crack at the whip, and that's our endeavour. We don't have an endless pot of money, so we're just making sure that we put things together that learners can do things which teach them their own sort of morals and beliefs and ways of living their lives, and how they can do things to impact their life in a positive way. And this was just one way that we're looking at, and more details will be out about that in coming months. Yeah.
So if someone was watching today and they were thinking about, I wouldn't mind sponsoring a young lad and see if I can try and get them through their career, how do they do that? Get in touch with the club again?
Yeah, get in touch with the club again. My email address is very simple. My full name, so jordan.clark@dorkingwanderers.com. Contact me directly. Go to info or go to the main club website. Everyone's details is on there. Just get in contact with someone. They'll point you in the right direction, and then we can obviously make that happen and have more of a discussion about it. Because we're not doing it for any other reason. Then it goes directly to the learner.
It's just for the lads.
Yeah, it's just for the learner. There's nothing else. It's not going to, there's no underlying thing here.
Not going to get another.
Yeah, there's no underlining, sort of like, we're just looking to make a quick buck. It's like we've had learners who haven't been agreed for a bursary, which is what the government issue for learners when they get means tested based on our education, and that's then hindered their development. They might not have had the best laptop, or the laptop might be old, and it's just being able to give them that little bit extra,
help.
that little bit of help, a little bit step up that might make the world of difference in the long term. So that's what it's about. Yeah, and
I hope they do that. I hope some people will come in and do sponsor. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, and there's good people out there, and I'm sure there will be. And like I say, it's not just about people giving it for nothing. If the learners might be based on some work experience, there's loads of different things that we're looking at of ways of doing it. It's not just going to be a freebie. It's just like, how can we benefit all parties, and then equally some good publicity or some equally, make someone feel good, that good deed that people want.
Sure. So you've got a coffee morning coming up. What's that? Everyone will dress up as a waiter and give out coffees. What's the coffee morning
again,
all about?
It's another again with the downtime during the lockdown. I worked really closely with Ollie, our marketing director, and sort of the way in which we do things with the academy, and we want to impact the community in so many ways. And I think it's been so prominent in the last 12 months of the lockdown and COVID and stuff like that, how big a part community play in clubs and how big a part community play in just everyday life. And
yes.
I, for one, really miss seeing people and doing a small kind deed, from opening the door for someone to serving them a coffee,
sure.
or something like that, or offering someone a cup of tea.
Sure.
So we're just going to put together some coffee mornings further down the line, where learners will provide the cakes. It's all free. It'll be in support of a charity, so there'll be a donation there. The charity that we've selected and the learners selected this will be Mind, supporting mental health, and they will come into the Healthy Kitchen, and they will offer tea, coffee, and you just have a chat and learn a little bit more about what they offer, but obviously when COVID allows us to do so. So these are just little things that the club are putting on in the background to re-engage fans, re-engage the local community,
get them all back a little bit.
and just support people, because I can imagine there's going to be a lot of people who've been stuck in their homes for a long period, and maybe just an hour coffee morning might be the step they need to be able to get back out into the world, because there's going to be a lot of people who haven't been able to continue their normal ways of life.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great, that's brilliant. I hope it does. I hope that really comes off well. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're more than welcome as well, Gary.
Yeah, I'll come along. I love a bit of cake. Right then, now here the ladies, the lady team are back. Are they back training or back playing? What are they doing?
Yeah, so the league met on Monday, and they decided that they'll be running a mini competition, and we've decided to enter it.
Brilliant.
So we will be starting back training from Tuesday, and the ladies team will be having a game probably next Sunday. Whether that's home or away, I'll be sure to let everyone know. But it'll be very quick in terms of Monday was the meeting. They're doing the structure of the competition now.
Right.
We'll probably know, if not already, Kat, who oversees our ladies side of things, will update me, and the idea will be that the ladies will go back to playing until mid-May. That'll be it. They'll have a mini competition. So there'll be home games here on a Sunday, and after April 12th, it'll be great to see as many fans as possible down supporting the first team for the ladies, as much
definitely.
as what they have and will continue to do, support the first team.
Well, they were doing so well in their league, weren't they? Unbeaten, in fact.
Yeah, and we're very much hopeful that on the ladies' side of things, they're equally doing a similar restructure.
Right.
So we're hoping that we fall in the good category of that, and hopefully we get promoted. So there's obviously a few hoops to jump through, but based on our appeals process that we're looking at doing and stuff like that, we're hopeful that we can get into the next level and continue our progression. But either way, it'll be great to have some football back here on the weekend, and anyone who wants to come down, there'll be information on the website. So
in the near future, we're going to have a bit of football down the middle.
Yeah. So from next week, there'll be a minimum of 2 teams back playing, which is it's maybe not the 4 or 5 teams that we normally have, and the hustle and bustle of the daily life, but it's something, and I'm really grateful for something at the moment.
Cool, so I can understand that. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time, Jordan. Great talking to you again, and it's been great catching up. And I'll see you in a month's time.
See you in a month's time. Thanks a lot,
Look
Gary.
after yourself.
Cheers, mate.